Guys, Usman versus Edwards Part 3 is finally happening. And in celebration of this weekend's fight, DraftKings Sportsbook is offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after they place their first $5 wager. Wondering how to use $200 in bonus bets? Try Same Fight Parlays, where you can combine multiple bets on the same fight into one parlay for a shot at even more action. If mobile sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still get in on the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they offer cash prize contests for nearly every sport. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. New customers, just click on the link below to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Remember, use the promo code Sonnen and bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code Sonnen only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Usman versus Edwards. Guys, we're running out of time, right? The talk is ticking. They just did a conference call. Now, this might be one of the more important conference calls of the last 2 years, because I haven't heard a thing from Usman. I'm friends with Usman. I text with Usman, and I haven't heard anything from Usman. Not about this fight. I've seen other guys buckle down. I remember, you guys will remember Rico Rodriguez. Rico Rodriguez got a world title fight at heavyweight. He's going to take on Randy Couture, and Rico disappeared. Rico was writing books. He was hanging, like Vin Diesel was a big deal at that time, you know, as far as the fight game. He was one of the bigger names that were coming, and this was one of Rico's buddies. You still couldn't hear from him. Rico was nowhere. He was at a top gym of punishment. He had the right guys around. You could not hear from him. When they did get a camera on Rico, he didn't do an interview. He had a completely straight face with a stare. You could just tell he was focused. Like, there was no way around it. This was not an act. Rico Rodriguez has put everything into one basket. I just remember that. This was 20 years ago, but I remember it. I remember it. I bring it to you as an example because when a guy goes quiet or when a guy goes dark, I don't suggest for you that that's a bad thing. I don't suggest for you that's because of a fear. I will suggest for you, if anybody does something different, they should expect a different result. It's the entire point of changing up your training. It's the entire point of changing up your diet. It's your entire point of changing up your workout partners. If you do something different, you can expect a different result. Now that, I got to put a timeout on. I don't know that Usman wants a different performance than he had last time. He dipped into a head kick that an exhausted man happened to throw with his power leg. There ain't a man out there. There isn't even a small mule that could have taken that kick. But the performance was wonderful. The performance showed grittiness. It showed heart. It even showed adversity. Usman gets taken down one spot. We never thought that we would see him. Then he's got Leon, top guy in the world, on his back with the body secured. I'm only suggesting for you that was a terrible position that Kamaru not only worked through and survived, he got up and won the next round, the one after that, and the one after that too. As far as a performance goes, I don't think there's anything that he wants different. He did not have stamina issues, so you understand. A lot of guys will lose in championship rounds, but it's no longer about skills. Starts to get into grit, and this guy can go harder than you can go. I'm just sharing for you, none of those things happened. He wasn't out-punched, he wasn't out-wrestled, he wasn't out-jiu-jitsu'd. Even the kick that put him down, bring all the kicks into it, he would have won on the judges' scorecards. So there was nothing within the performance that needs change, but the approach sure does feel different. I used to really enjoy myself hearing about Usman's training just because he was getting the best of both worlds, right? Black Zillions, Stanford MMA is what they call themselves now, but then he had Trevor Whitman. You can't get private workouts with Trevor Whitman and turn him down. Whoever you are, if you have that opportunity, you can't turn it down. Les Gutches told me one time that Dave Schultz walked up and invited him to train, was going to fly him out. And Les said, I accepted, and he sent me a plane ticket, but I would have walked. I'd have walked from Corvallis to Foxcatcher Farms to be able to work out with Dave Schultz. And I'll just share with you, like Whitman's the same way. If you can get privates, you can get in that guy's mind. But I was into that. That was interesting to me. Then all of a sudden I was seeing some workouts, and it was Justin Gaethje. And some of them were like in this private, smaller room. I want to say maybe that was even during the pandemic when you couldn't have whole teams, and these two guys are going out of these two juggernauts. champion of 55, champion of 70. I was just seeing some really great stuff. I was enjoying it. He would go back to Florida. I would hear things like from Gilbert Burns, would go and do interviews. It was a really interesting thing. He didn't let us in on any of that. Now, when he didn't let us in on any of that, I haven't heard any rumors anywhere else that he's doing something else. I think that that's still what he's doing, but I don't know, and I would like to. I would like to know specifically what has been different for the preparation of this fight than was for the last one. And you have somebody like Kamaru Usman, I've never seen from a mental standpoint somebody that can do what he can do in the moment. Henry Cejudo is close, and it's called resetting. When something is happening in a match, it's really good, you get excited, or it's really bad, you got to recover from it, but you let it go. You take a deep breath, you reset. Some guys, you'll see him slap them, so you'll never know why he's doing it. He reached up and slapped himself, or he reached up and he rubbed his nose. You couldn't figure out why he was doing it. That was his button, that was his tail. That's what he's worked on in the psychotherapy going into the fight. That's the reset button. Boom, okay, now here I am. Jordan Burroughs reached down, tie his shoe and pull his socks up. Even when the shoe's not untied, it reaches down, ties his shoe. That's his reset. And I'll just share for you, Kamaru Usman can reset in the moment better than anybody I've ever seen in sport. Period. Hard stop, sport. Any. I watched Kamaru Usman come as close to losing a fight as he ever did until he did against Gilbert Burns, and I watched him reset in that same round. And Cejudo can do that, but Cejudo needs a break. He needs to ride out the round, get in the corner, he can go back and do it. It's an impressive thing. It might sound simple, but to reset in the moment, put the good behind you, put the bad behind you, whatever you're looking forward to just scratch it, and you're right now, right here, right now. Not how tired I've gotten, how tired I think I'm going to be, right here, right now. It's an amazing thing. And I would like to know what Kamaru Usman is doing differently. And once I find out what he's doing differently, I would like to know why he's doing that. And I see guys do it all the time. It does not matter how good they are. It doesn't matter how skilled they are. They will get locked into the outcome. As an athlete, as a coach working with athletes, you do not want to focus on, and you do not want your team focusing on, and you do not want your pupil focusing on the outcome. You want him to focus on the performance. You go out. Are you scoring points? Are you defending? Are you getting a guy off your legs? Are you on his head? Are you moving? Are your feet moving? Are your hands up? The performance. Are you performing to the best of your abilities? If the answer is yes, the outcome takes care of itself. But it's really important that you do it in that order. And I must tell you, as I observe this from an outsider, Kamaru's a big favorite. Did a press conference. Sounded great. Odds have come out on DraftKings. He's actually pulled away. People believe that he's going to win. I get that. I would predict Kamaru Usman. It won't change the fact that I would like to know why this approach has been different. Because if you're worried about changing the outcome, you're worried on the wrong thing. You should be thinking about the performance. And his performance in his last fight, the one against Leon, was damn near perfect.